Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for International Universities, Gaining a Perspective Where Lines Are Blurred. Just to go over a little bit of some housekeeping for this morning before we get started. This webinar is recorded. We will be providing you a link at the end of the webinar once it's available to your email that you registered with. This is a muted webinar, so any questions you have, please feel free to go ahead and enter it into our chat. We will be addressing those as time allows and hopefully have some time at the end of our presentation to go ahead and review any questions that have come up through the presentation. I'll go ahead and hand it over to Jasmine Sadie Keenert, the president and our host for today from Academic Credentials Evaluation Institute.
Thank you so much, Yoli. Thank you, and welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I welcome all of you to our presentation today. This webinar presentation is our first for 2024, and I'm delighted to have Andrew Popelka, one of our credential evaluators, who will be presenting this wonderful presentation on international universities and kind of how to distinguish those that are the recognized accredited institutions versus those that are not. Andrew has been with ACEI for about 3 years, but I have to say you're one of our rising stars, Andrew, and it's such a pleasure to have you on board on our team and to see the desire you have in selecting this topic, which I wanted to also ask you, what inspired you to come up with this topic for today's presentation?
Yeah, definitely. So I have quite a few years of experience in credential evaluation. And this topic, before I had done the research for the presentation, was basically a little bit foreign to me. A lot of the universities that I'm presenting on are universities that I've never really heard about. I haven't seen any of the credentials offered by them when working as a credential evaluator. So just wanted to kind of expand my knowledge on the topic and learn more about international credentials.
Thank you. Well, we look forward to that. And I'd love to invite our attendees to just enter in chat where they're calling from or how they're joining us. Are you with universities, evaluation agencies, or professional boards? Just will give us an idea of the demographics of our audience. Just to kind of highlight what Andrew will be speaking about today, the outline is, as you can see on the screen. He will be touching on international university. How do you differentiate these institutions? How do you judge their legitimacy, the legitimacy and the recognition of their programs? Are these universities formed at the regional or as by international organizations? Some of these institutions have been created to serve the displaced populations, those who have been faced conflict or fleeing war zones. Then we have dual degree programs, joint universities, agreements that have been reached by two universities in two different parts of the globe, and they are serving together to provide students degrees that are mutually comparable. And then we have the issue of unaccredited, fake, or what we like to call diploma mills, and how do we go and spot them? So there's a lot to cover. We're going to allot for about 10 minutes at the end of our, before the closing of the webinar, to allow Andrew to respond to any questions that we have in chat. So please sit back, have your favorite libation handy, because we're going to go on a great journey with Andrew in this discovery of international institutions. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. Pleased to be able to present on this topic. So moving on, we would just pose the question, what exactly is an international university? So there's a couple of different answers. They are mostly created by regional organizations, international organizations, or treaties set forth by these international organizations or between multiple countries. They are often funded and operated by multiple countries and are considered intergovernmental. So officials or personnel from different countries can be in control of that university and its academic offerings. It can also include universities that have campuses in multiple countries or might operate in a particular country and offer distance education to individuals across the globe. Um, Many of them do offer dual degree programs or contain basically degrees that are recognized by multiple countries. And as Jasmine stated, they could be providing education for individuals in war-torn areas or people in general that are displaced or discriminated against. A lot of these universities are actually created to provide training or education for the founding international organizations. So that's important to note moving forward. Um, and moving on, how to judge the legitimacy of international university programs. And unsurprisingly, it's very similar to how you would judge any normal university program from a national system. So you want to investigate the program offering just to get a good look at what you have in front of you. And as always, you want to research the accreditation of that particular university or program. If it offers programmatic accreditation. So does this university have accreditation by the proper authorities in the country of study? And is this credential accepted by other universities abroad as, legitimate or kind of considered for admissions? You want to take a look and see if the program offers a dual degree, and that is a program where basically you will finish the program and you will receive a degree from two separate institutions. And of course, you'll want to take a look at the admission requirements. So, for example, if a master's degree wouldn't require an accredited bachelor's degree for admission, you might kind of look at that program as strange. And finally, you want to take a look at what the credential actually grants access to in terms of employment opportunities or even further education when studying. Um, and moving on, just a brief overview of some of the helpful tools you can use to check accreditation of universities. So these, of course, include both official and unofficial sources. While you always want to use an official source to come to your conclusion on whether or not the university or program is accredited, I would point out that unofficial sources can help you to just kind of gravitates an official source that will help you to confirm that accreditation faster. So some of the official sources that I myself like to use that I'm sure many of you are familiar with would include the World Higher Education Database, or WHED.net, which is run by the International Association of Universities in collaboration with the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, which again, I'm sure many of you are also familiar with. And then the best source, of course, to look at is the official Ministry of Education websites. Some official sources that you can look at that can contain useful information and point you towards the official source could be the About Us or accreditation pages on the official university website itself, or another website that I like to use, foricu.org, which again I wouldn't use as an official source. But if you search a university there and scroll to the bottom, it'll usually list basically the accrediting body for that university, and it almost always contains a link to that body's website. So you can go to there and kind of search for the university there and figure out what's going on with that credential. Um, with World Higher Education Database, it's pretty easy to search any university. And if you're a member of the website, which I believe involves registering with the IAU, you can get some pretty nice comprehensive lists, which I unfortunately don't have access to myself. But I know that they do have an official category for international or intergovernmental universities. So that can be a helpful tool if you have access to it. So moving on to the next slide here, we have our first international university, which is United Nations University. It claims on the website to be the first university established by an international organization, and they began their academic offerings in 1975. So it was formed by the United Nations General Assembly, working in tandem with UNESCO, which created and approved the university charter in 1973. And they are headquartered in Tokyo, Japan. The United Nations University has 13 separate institutes across 12 different countries, and they offer research, professional training, and official graduate slash postgraduate degree programs, often oriented towards training members of the United Nations in achieving kind of their different goals, as you will see with a lot of their degree program offerings. Moving on to UNU's different institutes. Here you can kind of see an overview of the different institutes that they have. So they have the UNU centers located in Tokyo, Japan, and Putrajaya, Malaysia, which kind of provide a lot of the administration functions such as communication, human resources, and financial services for the university system. There is the UNU Vice Rectorate in Europe, which is located in Bonn, Germany. And this location provides institutional development services, which are usually to facilitate coordination between the university system and the United Nations itself. And moving on to the actual academic institutes, we first have the UNU Biotechnology Program for Latin American and the Caribbean, which is in Caracas, Venezuela. And this provides training and research services in biotechnology to foster social and economic development initiatives. We have the UNU Center for Policy Research, which is in New York and supports research to solve current or future global policy issues. We have the Institute on Comparative Regional Integration Studies, which is in Bruges, Belgium, and focuses on studying how to implement governance policies or general cooperation between governments on a global scale, such as implementing the United Nations 2030 Development Agenda. Next up, we have the UNU Operating Unit on Policy-Driven Electronic Governance, which is hosted by the University of Minho in Guimarães, Portugal. I might not be pronouncing that right, but it conducts research on utilizing digital technology to support global governance initiatives that foster inclusive and social economic development, environmental sustainability, and peace. So again, kind of tying into a lot of the initiatives set forth by the United Nations. Next, we have the UNU Institute in Macau, which conducts research on information and communication technologies that are used to foster international development and policies, including, again, the implementation of the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and other initiatives. We also have the UNU World Institute for Development Economics Research, which is in Helsinki, Finland, and it conducts economic research and analysis to provide the UN and other global governments with policy advice to promote sustainable or equitable development. Next up is the Institute for Environment and Human Security, which is in Bonn, Germany. And this institute conducts research on environmental hazards and global change, which could include climate change. We also have the Institute for Integrated Management of Material Fluxes and Resources, which conducts research on key environmental resources such as water, soil, waste, energy, and more to promote better management of these resources and to assist developing economies and developing nations to manage them better. We also have the Institute for Advanced Study of Sustainability, which is in Tokyo, Japan, and conducts research or provides education on sustainability with the purpose of informing policymakers in the UN system. We also have the International Institute for Global Health, which is in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And this institute focuses on research to aid in policy development that's related mostly to global health. and also the UNU Institute for National Resources in Africa, which is located in Accra, Ghana, and serves the African region by conducting research on natural resource management, kind of fostering collaboration between different educational institutions, and just general development policy for the area. And then last but not least, we also have the UNU Institute for Water, Environment and Health, which is in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and focuses on working with countries in the global south to conduct research or promote policy on addressing water issues to environmental health. So you can see all of these institutes, again, kind of work to just promote the development of many of the UN's different initiatives around the world. And moving on to the UNU degree offerings, again, they offer graduate slash postgraduate education. For master's degrees, we have the Master of Science in Sustainability, Public Policy, and Human Development. We also have the Master of Science in Geography of Environmental Risks and Human Security. Their master's degree programs are stated to typically be between 2 to 3 years in length, depending on the program and whether or not it's a dual degree. And next up, we have the doctoral programs. So they offer PhD programs in sustainability science, innovation, economics, and governance for sustainable development, governance and policy analysis, and as well as integrated management of water, soil, and waste. Their PhD programs are typically going to be 3 years in duration for full-time study. And if you look around at some of the different institutes, you can see that they also offer professional training certificates, various diplomas, and free online courses. So it is very important to kind of scrutinize these programs if you receive them to see whether or not they're kind of a vocational style training certificate or something that you could actually use for transfer credit or admissions. And some facts about the accreditation of United Nations University. They are sort of all of the different institutes are typically accredited by the national accreditation body in the host country. So, for example, their institutes in Japan would be accredited by the Japanese Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology. And again, it's very important to look at whether or not the courses that they offer for professional training bear credit or not. And we can see that a lot of their programs are actually offering dual or joint degree programs, which could mean that you are receiving 2 separate degrees or that it's a joint degree issued by the 2 universities or a program that's run by 2 universities in conjunction. So first up, we have the Master of Sustainability degree program, which can include studies for a dual degree by studying at the University of Tokyo for 2 years to obtain an official Master of Engineering degree, and then finishing the studies off at UNU for an additional year, which will get you that Master of Sustainability. They also offer a joint diploma program for this through Sophia University in Japan, where students are basically going to split the 2 years of study between both institutes for the Master of Sustainability. For their Master of Science in Public Policy and Human Development. It's offered as a collaboration between UNU and Maastricht University in the Netherlands. And completion of this program will confer an official diploma from both institutions. Their Master of Science in Geography of Environmental Risks and Human Security is also offered as a joint program, this time between UNU and the University of Bonn in Germany. And I wasn't able to see whether or not they get a dual degree program or a dual diploma from both universities, but I know that the studies, if you elect for this program, are conducted between both universities. For their PhD programs, they also offer a lot of joint diplomas. So for example, for the PhD in sustainability, you can study a joint diploma program with either the University of Tokyo or Sophia University in Japan. The PhD in governance and policy analysis is also offered as a dual degree between UNU and University of Maastricht, as well as their PhD in Innovation, Economics, and Governance for Sustainable Development. So you will be, again, getting a dual degree or a degree from both institutions for completing those programs. And last but not least, we have the PhD in Integrated Management of Water, Soil, and Waste, which is offered as a joint PhD program with TU Dresden or Technische Universität in Germany. And most of the studies that I came across for these degree programs are conducted in English and will require some sort of English proficiency test or proof of English proficiency to conduct your studies there. And moving on to the next international university, we have Euclid University, which is also offering a bilingual French name, which I will not attempt to pronounce, but they were established in 2008 through international treaty. Their headquarters are in Bangui in the Central African Republic, where French is the main language, hence the bilingualism of the university, as well as Banjul, Gambia, where English is the main language. They are accredited by international law through multiple governments that are spanning across multiple continents. And the university was created to train active senior officials and government staff to better accomplish their tasks. While you can study on site at these institutes in Central African Republic or Gambia, a lot of their programs are offered as distance or online education. So you can easily study at the institution anywhere in the world. And just an interesting fact about this university that I thought distinguishes it from the others is their website is euclid.int, meaning international. So that kind of set it apart from a lot of the other universities which didn't have that name, which I think actually just pertains to uh, internet domain and not the actual university itself. And moving on to their degree offerings, they offer a blend of undergraduate and graduate / postgraduate degrees. For their bachelor degrees, they offer a bachelor in fundamental and applied research and a bachelor of science in international relations and global affairs. For their master's degrees, they offer environmental health, global economics, international law, various different religious studies. So that's not just one degree, it's religious studies pertaining to separate religions, climate change and sustainability, public health, and a couple of more that I'm not mentioning here. For graduate study, you can also sign up for a postgraduate certificate, which can include diplomacy in international affairs, international law and treaty law, mediation and conflict resolution, as well as sustainable development. And for doctoral studies, they offer a couple of different PhD programs in either global energy policy, diplomacy and international affairs, counterterrorism and de-radicalization, epidemiology and biostatistics, and religious studies. So again, you can kind of see that a lot of these degree programs are kind of tailored to areas that would serve somebody who is a kind of a government professional. Select Euclid programs may also qualify for joint degrees granted either by the University of Bangui or the University of Jamena. I might be pronouncing that wrong. That's in the Central African Republic. And they offer some joint degree programs in conjunction with other universities that are considered international, such as the Euler Franeker Memorial University, which is one that I'm actually not covering in the presentation. But moving on to Euclid University facts, you can see that this is officially classified as an international or intergovernmental university on web. They are registered or published under the United Nations Treaty Section I-49006 and I-49007. And I believe that you can see more about this treaty if you visit the website euclidtreaty.org that they set up, just to kind of give you a place to look at that under and kind of figure out more information about it. They are recognized as officially accredited by the United Nations and UNESCO. And both of their headquartered institutes have national accreditation from both the National Accreditation and Quality Assurance Authority of Gambia and the Ministry of Higher Education of the Central African Republic. And it's interesting to note that if you get a degree certificate issued to you, it can be validated by a stamp or an apostille by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Central African Republic. Looking at their education system, it's quite interesting. So it operates on a semester system, and they list basically a dual credit requirement. So that can either be in the standard US credit hour system or in the European credit transfer system, or ECTS, which I'm sure we're all familiar with. So their bachelor programs are going to require 120 US credits or 240 ECTS for graduation, which is important to note for evaluation purposes. So these do appear to be 4-year bachelor degrees. And while a lot of their master degree programs are 1 years, they do have the option to extend their master's roadmap to 54 US credits or 90 ECTS to meet the requirements for Master 1 versus Master 2. When students graduate, they are officially given a European Union diploma supplement, and that is issued in both English and French, since the institute is bilingual. But it appears that most of the studies that they conduct are in English, as most of the programs are going to, again, require some sort of English proficiency test. Next up, we have the University for Peace. And the University for Peace was established by the United Nations General Assembly in 1980. 41 countries are party to the treaty confirming its creation. And its headquarters is in Costa Rica. Much like the other institutes, they seem to focus mostly on graduate or postgraduate degrees and also offer some certificate or diploma programs. And moving on to their degree offerings, we see that they have several different master's degree departments, and each of these departments have a couple of different degrees that they offer. It was kind of too much to list, but those departments include peace and conflict studies, environmental development, and international law. As the name of the university suggests, a lot of the focus of the research and education there is actually going to be focused on international peace. And highlighting that for their doctoral research areas, you can pursue PhDs in international relations, conflict and negotiation, international criminal law, international economic law, global governments, and climate change governments, among a few others. And then they again offer a couple of certificate and diploma programs, which can include peace and conflict studies, world politics and conflict analysis, and sustainable peace. Some of these programs, if you click around the website, are offered as credit bearing and others are non-credit education. So it's, again, important to just scrutinize these programs if you receive them to see whether or not you can consider them for transfer credit or admissions. It seems like most of the degrees taught at this institution are taught in English with English proficiency required, although some of the programs, mostly the certificates and professional programs, can be offered in Spanish. You can see that the website is kind of bilingual, so some pages might be in English and other might offer a blend of English and Spanish. For the master's degrees, these are going to be typically 2 years in duration, while the PhD programs are typically going to be 3 years in duration. And moving on to accreditation and facts for University of Peace, a couple of their departments are officially accredited by the Sistema Nacional de Acreditación de la Educación Superior, or the National System of Higher Education Accreditation of Costa Rica. So they do, of course, have national accreditation there. And they do claim on the website to offer dual degrees for certain programs through a slew of different universities, which include American University, Pontificia Universidad Javierna Cali, which is in Colombia, Hankook University of Foreign Studies in Korea, Oregon State University, and Ateneo de Manila University in the Philippines. On their website, I was able to find information on their Master of Arts dual degree program in Natural Resources and Sustainable Development, which would include studying at American University for 1 year and in University for Peace for 1 year, resulting in an MA in International Affairs from University or American University, as well as the MA in Natural Resources and Sustainable Development from University of Peace. I wasn't able to find a lot of information on their other dual degree offerings, but they seem to be official there. And all of these universities listed are, of course, accredited national system universities that would be considered for admissions purposes. And moving on to the next international university, we have South Asian University, or SAU. And this was established through an international treaty by the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, or SARC. And SARC works on trade, policy development, and more between its participating members. And those members include Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, the Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, as well as Sri Lanka. And this particular university is headquartered in New Delhi and offers a range of graduate and postgraduate degrees. Um, this university appears to be more academic in nature as opposed to one that is, I guess, supporting the policy initiatives of the association, as you can kind of see by the program offering up next here. So for master's degrees, they're going to offer applied mathematics, computer science, economics, a Master of Law or LLM program, biotechnology, sociology, and international relations. And for doctoral programs, they are the exact same offerings from those departments. Um, I think it's interesting to note that for their doctoral studies, they include the Master of Philosophy program, which I believe is currently being phased out in India right now, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm kind of curious to see what would result for this university's offering of a Master of Philosophy. And moving on to SAU accreditation and facts, this university is in fact accredited by the University Grants Commission in India, and the degrees that they issue are recognized by all of the other 7 members of SARC. And the course duration is very important to note here because the master's degree programs are typically 2 years in duration, requiring a 3-year bachelor's degree for admission. And on the website, it does clarify on the master page or the master's degree admission notes that it's looking for a bachelor's degree from the 10+2+3 system. And interestingly enough, it states that it requires the applicant to be at least 20 years old. Additionally, the PhD program is going to require the 10+2+3+2 or completion of a 3-year bachelor degree and 2 years master degree. So I believe that would be important for a lot of us to consider when giving an equivalency for some of these degrees. Another interesting fact about these studies that I came across researching this university is that programs taken are usually under a credit system as opposed to the mark system of India. So course tables and syllabus for each program is typically provided on the university website, and grading systems are using letter grades or the CGPA system. Although in the admissions sections, it does clarify that admissions to their Masters of Art program require a minimum of 50% marks in a bachelor's degree, and the Master of Science requires a minimum of 55% or equivalent in a bachelor's degree. And moving on to our next international university, we have European University Institute, which was established in 1972 by the original 6 members of the European communities, which transformed to become the European Union through a treaty. The original 6 members of the European communities included Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. This university is headquartered in Florence, Italy, and also offers graduate/postgraduate degrees with a bigger focus on their PhD programs. So they offer a Master of Law, a Master of Research in Economics, a Master in Transnational Governments, which is 2 years full-time, and then an Executive Master degree, which is 2 years part-time. And their PhD offerings include economics, history, political or social science, history and civilization, and law. For the EUI accreditation in facts, we can see that it is accredited by the Ministry of Education, University and Research of Italy in its host country, and degrees issued by this institution are recognized by most EU members currently. They seem to follow the Bologna Process Agreement. So the Master of Research and Law program is typically 1 year in duration, requiring a 3-year or 180 ECTS bachelor degree slash EQF level 6 degree for admission. So again, for many of us, especially in the United States, I think it's important to note just the duration of degrees for admissions policies. And their PhD programs are typically going to be 4 years in duration. And this is another institute that provides instruction in English and requires English proficiency tests for admission. Another international university that we have is the World Maritime University, which was established in 1983 by the International Maritime Organization, or IMO. This is an agency of the United Nations that's responsible for the regulation of international shipping. It is located in Malmo, Sweden, and offers graduate/postgraduate degrees geared toward employment in international shipping. And I'll try to hurry up so we can get to the end here without missing anything. But they offer a variety of master and PhD programs that are, again, going to be geared towards international shipping. So maritime affairs or maritime law and ocean policy degrees. And outside of their master's degrees or doctoral degrees, they offer a couple of non-degree courses that would include professional training courses, such as the Maritime Welfare Professional Development Program. And these are not going to be academic or credit-bearing courses. This particular university is recognized in the nation that it's seated in, so it's recognized by the Ministry of Education in Sweden. Their PhD programs are 3 to 6 years, requiring 240 ECTS for graduation. And their master's programs are typically 14 months in duration and also utilize ECTS. So again, they follow the Bologna process, and this can be pretty important to consider for admissions. They have a couple of their master's degrees that are geared towards employment in China, which has quite a lot of international shipping. And these are conducted in collaboration with either Dalian Maritime University or Shanghai Maritime University, depending on the campus. And the final degree is awarded by WMU. And again, this is going to be a university that's primarily conducted in English and requires an English proficiency test. Last but not least, we have International Maritime Law Institute, or IMLI, and they were established in 1988 by the International Maritime Organization, again, and the government of Malta. Their main campus is in, I believe that's pronounced Masita, I might be mistaken there, in Malta. And they, again, offer graduate degrees geared towards employment in international shipping, much like WMU. So you can see that they offer Master of Laws, Master of Philosophy, a Magister Juris in International Maritime Law, and then their PhD in International Maritime Law, which I believe that was in conjunction with WMU. And much like WMU, they do offer various professional courses designated as specialized courses, and these probably aren't going to be considered as credit bearing. Most of these programs do require completion of a bachelor's degree in a related subject, so they want to see that you've completed a bachelor in law or a bachelor in maritime law. The accreditation for this institute is a little interesting. So on the website, it states that its Master of Laws or LLM program is recognized as a level 7 master's degree by the Malta Further and Higher Education Authority. And it also states that it is in the process of having its other degrees and certificates recognized. So if you receive something like a Master of Philosophy, again, you might want to scrutinize that to see if it would be considered accredited in Malta, which could pose some problems, given that it is a international university and holds some international law accreditation. I would be just curious to see how you guys would treat that. They don't explicitly state that they use the ECTS system or Bologna process on their website, requiring that 3-year Bologna degree. But just given their location in Malta, I would assume that they do. But I think that would require some further investigation. And this is, again, another institute that's going to require proficiency in English. Next up, we have our special cases. So these could be universities in war-torn areas with displaced populations or in general, American universities abroad. And the interesting case about these universities is that a lot of these American universities are actually accredited in America by the Middle States Commission on Higher Education. I did provide their link of institution lists, and right away you can see that the American University of Cairo and the American University of Beirut are listed there. And another interesting case we have is the American University of Afghanistan. And I've actually received a couple of credentials from this university, which is why I wanted to include it. So it was started in 2006, although it wasn't accredited by the Ministry of Afghanistan for a few years after that. Um, and it was actually chartered as a corporation in the state of Delaware. So I believe that while it was operating, I believe it was actually on the Middle States Commission on the Higher Education list, although it is no longer due to the university having to relocate after the American withdrawal from Afghanistan. It's currently in the process of relocating to Qatar, although I don't believe that it's finalized being set up. And most of these universities, while receiving accreditation in America, are also going to have accreditation in their host countries. So you can see American University of Beirut is recognized by the Ministry of Education and Higher Education in Lebanon, as well as the Middle States Commission, as well as the American University in Cairo having accreditation by the Ministry of Education in Egypt. One interesting thing to note about the American University of Beirut is that they worked out an agreement with the university system to accept 1 year of advanced standing credit for the Lebanese high school baccalaureate examination. So students are admitted directly to the second year of its bachelor degree programs. The most interesting case here is the American University of Yangon, which is in Myanmar, which is a country that's been undergoing a pretty long conflict. And it was very difficult to find information on accreditation for them, both in the host country and in the United States. So while American University is listed in the Middle States Commission list, American University of Yangon isn't specifically listed there. And it's kind of hard to find information on their accreditation status in Myanmar as well. But if you look on the American University of Yangon website, you can see that they have a pretty nice and robust exchange program for their bachelor's degrees, where students will complete the first 2 years of study in Yangon. and then are eligible to finish the last 2 years of their studies at a huge slew of participating universities in the United States, which could include several California State University locations, various City University of New York locations, University of Albany, University of Kentucky, and quite a lot more. So curious to see how you guys would treat this particular program, specifically if you weren't able to find good information on their accreditation status. And the last example would be the Baha'i Institute for Higher Education. So I guess I wouldn't really consider this an international university since it's specifically in Iran, but it is a special case to consider because basically the Baha'i community in Iran has been blocked to higher education or just access to their higher education institutions by the government there due to discrimination, of course. So due to that, the community basically founded the Baha'i Institute for Higher Education in 1987 to meet the educational needs of their young people. And although this institute does lack any official accreditation anywhere, their programs have actually been accepted for admission into both graduate and doctoral programs at over 100 plus Western education institutions, spanning North America, Europe, and Australia. So again, I would be very curious to see if any of you guys have come across their credentials and kind of wonder how you guys would treat them as well. If you want to share that in chat. And last but not least here, we have universities operating in multiple countries or offering dual degree programs. Again, I wanted to include these because I've actually done quite a lot of degrees from these universities and kind of found them quite interesting. So first we have the Les Roches International School of Hotel Management. They're accredited by the New England Commission of Higher Education in the United States, as well as hold accreditation in Switzerland, where some of their institutes are. I know they also have a couple of degree programs and offerings in Spain. We also have Monash University, which is one of the bigger and most famous universities in Australia. Um, and this particular campus is in Malaysia. This institute is accredited by the Malaysian Ministry of Education, and it allows students to transfer to the Australian university to finish their last year of studies, and their degrees are also officially recognized in Australia. We also have Duke Cushman University, which was established in 2018 by a joint venture between Duke University and Wuhan University. It is accredited by the education authorities in China, and their degrees would be recognized in the United States as well, just due to their joint venture with Duke University, which again is quite famous. And we also have quite a few different United Kingdom universities. They have quite a lot of different universities that either offer dual degrees or joint programs. So University of Nottingham, Malaysia campus is granted accreditation from the Malaysian Qualifications Agency and is also recognized by the UK education authorities. We also have Newcastle University in Singapore, where the undergraduate degrees were developed jointly by Newcastle University and the Singapore Institute of Technology. The official degree is awarded by Newcastle University in the UK. And Middlesex University Dubai is accredited by the Ministry of Education in Dubai and also recognized in the United Kingdom for their degree offerings. Last but not least, we have King's College London. They offer quite an extensive list of joint or dual degree programs in multiple countries, one of which I found to be the law programs, which are taught in conjunction with Columbia Law School in the United States. And then one of my favorite sections is the unaccredited universities. So this list of unaccredited universities is quite brave. So they've seemed to have stolen the UN affiliation, even though they have none and are all unaccredited institutions. You have to be quite brave, I guess, to fake national accreditation, but to steal, the government of all the nations on Earth is, again, quite brave. But we have the American University for Global Peace in the U.S., the Indian Federation of United Nations Associations, United Nations University in Delhi. Again, these guys are quite brave, and they have no affiliation with United Nations University or the United Nations at all. The United Nations Academy of Somalia, and then United Nations University International Agricultural Development Academy. These are all actually listed on the University of United Nations websites as unaccredited, and I believe this last one would be in China. And last but not least, we have just a slew of other unaccredited international universities. So African Virtual University, I believe, offers programs across the African continent, but doesn't have any accreditation. We have American University, IELTS International University, which I believe operates out of Ireland, American University of London. Another one is Azerbaijan International University, which started out as accredited, but had it revoked by the Azerbaijan government in 2010 just due to shady practices. And then there's also a slew of international universities in Nigeria. I had recently been shared an article by Jasmine where basically Nigeria is kind of cracking down on a lot of their fake degrees and confirmed that a lot of these institutions do not have authority to grant degrees in their country. So that's University of Education Ghana, West African Christian University, TIU International University UK, and then Cape Coast University Ghana. Um, so again, important to look out for a lot of these institutions or other ones that lack accreditation, as of course, none of their credentials can be used for academic admissions or should be used to grant access to employment. And that about wraps up the presentation. So we have our Q&A section. If there are any questions, please type them out in chat and we'd be happy to take a look.
Andrew, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. I really appreciate the research that you've done. There were some things that were new to me, even I, the jaded evaluator. So I really appreciate this. I'd love to hear from our colleagues who are attending today's webinar if you have had any experiences with any of these institutions that Andrew shared with us, and what your current policy is, or has the information that we presented going to affect your policy for the better or the worse or whatever it is. Love to hear from you. So please enter your comments, excuse me, or your questions in chat for us. Thank you. Andrew, one of the things that caught my eye was the American University in Yangon. We had a U.S. college that had approached us that they're interested in entering some form of a credit articulation with this institution. They haven't pursued this, but I was kind of curious about the status of the American University of Yangon, because as you stated, there isn't much information about their status in Myanmar. But as you said, they seem to have already established some, working relationships with international universities. What is your take on that? Do you feel that's enough for universities to base their agreements, or we should stick to our tried and true policy of they need to have either accreditation by a regional body here in the US or full recognition by their Ministry of Education?
Sure, that's a very interesting question. I guess if it were, an independent institute, I might lean more towards the no side. But I know that the American University, it's kind of like a bigger system. And many of their institutions are accredited or at least renowned within higher education. So I would definitely consider that fact when figuring out whether or not they should be accepted. And also just the fact that they're already in these kind of or these transfer agreements with some pretty renowned universities already. I would definitely take that into consideration. I know, City Universities of New York is pretty reputable. I mean, all of the universities on that list are, but I would definitely take that into consideration as well. Um, so kind of knowing that and just knowing the kind of the situation in Myanmar, I would lean toward yes,
Yeah.
especially given that it's in a kind of a prestigious American university system.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There are a few questions coming in. There are some wonderful positive remarks for your presentation, Andrew, from our colleague Rafael Navarez with the U.S. Department of Education. Hello, Rafael. Always good having you on board. He really appreciates your presentation. Well organized. Thank you. I echo that. We have a question. Let me see. Yes, one of our colleagues is asking if there will be a copy of the slides. Yes, you will definitely receive the PowerPoint presentation, the recording, the whole 9 yards. And our contact information is also provided on the slide. So if you run into questions, you know who to reach. Andrew is now our expert on this topic. Andrew, there's a question from a colleague about the credits. Let's see. Is there a list somewhere showing highest number of transfer credits into U.S. institutes of higher education? I have an answer for that, but I'd like Andrew to also give us his
No,
thoughts.
I'm not quite sure. I do know for all of the Bologna process degrees that typically for bachelor degrees, you're going to have them to translate them into U.S. credits. So I would go by that.
Mhm.
Um, as a credential evaluator with a credential evaluation agency, I always kind of say I don't make admissions decisions. So whether or not you're going to transfer a particular course or credit, it's definitely going to remain in the hands of the kind of policies and procedures of specific admissions departments across the U.S. Because they're all going to have different policies or regulations for handling that.
Correct. That's as a credential evaluation service, and we're based in the US, we're measuring the non-US credentials in terms of the US system, and we use the semester unit credit system in measuring these programs. And we follow the general concept that 1 year of full-time study within a program here in the US at the undergraduate level requires between 30 to 32 semester credit hours. And we measure 1 year of full-time education done at an institution outside of the US against that formula. So if credits exceed that amount for each year within the non-US system, those credits are converted to meet the US credit system of 30 to 32. So on an average, if we're looking at a 3-year program, we are then looking at 90 semester units of credit, between 90 to 96. And if we're looking at a 4-year undergraduate program, we're matching it against a 4-year program here, which is minimum 120 to 128 on the average. So that's kind of the measuring stick we use. Andrew, there's another question. Did you utilize Acro Edge while you conducted your research?
Sure. So that's an interesting question. I would say a little bit, and I do use Acro Edge a lot for credential evaluation in general. Uh, Particularly, I would say for the universities in the last slides. So maybe the universities offering joint degree programs or, kind of operating across several countries. For the international universities, though, that were more majorly featured, I kind of relied heavily on kind of information from their websites as well as information from websites of their founding organizations. So kind of the United Nations website, that kind of thing.
Thank you
So
so
a
much,
little.
Andrew. It looks like we've reached pretty much the bewitching hour, and we do not have any further questions, but I'm sure our audience will have some questions after. So feel free to email either one of us. Andrew's email is there, the general email for ACEI. don't hesitate to contact us again. The PowerPoint presentation with the recording of this webinar will be released shortly once it's available from this platform. Look for future upcoming webinars. We have quite a few coming up in the coming months. We have an upcoming webinar on education system of the UAE, on Scotland, on micro-credentials, on accessing US higher education. We also have more coming for, on diploma mills, Swiss, private Swiss hotel schools and so forth, and that have undergone a lot of reviews and reaccreditations, and some have not received that. So a lot of good stuff lined up for 2024 by our team here at ACEI. Thank you again, Andrew. It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you to all our attendees, and we look forward to seeing you at our future webinars. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.